Hi, I'm Jamie Nicholson. Today is May 3rd, 2020, and today I'm doing a dopamine detox. So I should probably explain to you guys what a dopamine detox actually is. It's basically you really can't do anything except for very limited activities that releases dopamine in your brain, which basically makes you happy and also can make you addicted to things like social media and your phone and video games. So this was a challenge put on by a YouTuber named Andrew Kirby. I would definitely recommend checking out some of his videos. But one of the big problems that I face in my day-to-day life, and especially during quarantine, is doing activities that I know are bad for me, but they're just so addicting I can't stop. Some of these would be like going on my phone, or I've been playing a lot of Minecraft recently. I hate to admit it. So the goal is that for 24 hours I will not be doing any of these activities that kind of artificially release dopamine in my brain, you would say. And hopefully it'll help curve down the time that I spend on my phone and playing video games, and also eating junk food, just doing things that generally are not healthy for me. Right here is going to be a list of activities that I'm not going to be doing today, and then in red and then in green are the activities that I am allowed to do today. So basically all I can do is eat healthy food, journal, go on walks, and exercise. It's going to be an interesting day, but let me take you guys back to the morning. This morning for breakfast, my pick of meal is some eggs and white toast, and they are of course unseasoned because I think that adding some salt and pepper on this would kind of be against the rules. I just finished up breakfast. It's about 8:30 a.m. and I'm about to start my first walk of the day. The thing is, usually I listen to podcasts while walking, but even then my thoughts tend to wander, so walking silently wasn't too bad. Also, I've done some no technology days in the past, and really what I've noticed is the things I miss the most are not being able to tell what time it is and not being able to check the weather. I really think this whole quarantine situation makes us forget that it's actually spring turning summer. Like right now it's May 3rd when I'm doing this. And I mean, the birds are chirping, the flowers are blooming. It's just so pretty out. Alright, so I'm not really sure if it's A, legal, or B, safe to be sitting at this table right now, but there's not really any place other than this park that I can journal besides at this table. Honestly, even filming this video was a little iffy, but I really just want to document this experience so that I can look back on it and maybe show it to people that are interested in doing a dopamine detox. And also really all this video is doing is just me expressing my thoughts, which is mainly the point of the challenge, just to be alone with your thoughts all day and really just like reflect on where you're at in life. There are 3 journal prompts that Andrew recommended us to answer today, and that is: who am I, who do I want to become, and how do I go from who I am to who I want to become. At this park, I worked on the first journal prompt, who am I, and it was honestly so relaxing just sitting there in the morning in nature, writing about who I am, so much so that I kind of got carried away with it and ended up writing 6 pages basically of my life story. I wrote about all my interests, how I got interested in them, all the different achievements and projects I've done with them, different character traits I have, and yeah, it was just a good time. Oh my gosh, does my hand hurt right now? I don't know if you guys can see this, but my fingers are all red and there's like dents in my fingers from holding this pen so much. My wrist is cramping up. I just wrote 6 pages under the who am I prompt. I have absolutely no idea what time it is. Like, I could have been sitting here for like an hour. It could have been like 2.5 hours. So at first I thought it was gonna be hard just spending the whole day journaling and walking. But after this journaling session, I definitely have a lot more that I need to get out of my mind, so I think I will not run out of stuff to write down. All in all, today's morning walk was 3 miles round trip, which is definitely an awesome way to start out my day. I feel super refreshed and active, and it's definitely a habit that I'm gonna want to keep going forward. I'm home now. My hand is still cramping up from all the writing that I just did. But one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I actually live with 3 other people: my mom, my dad, and my brother. Yes, I don't live alone at 16. And so I already told them that I can't talk to anyone today, but I guess we'll see how this goes. And also we're about to see what time it is. It is 11:11 right now, so I was out for just over 2.5 hours. I just made a strawberry banana smoothie. It is very good, and normally right now I would love to crack open a book and just read on the porch for a bit, but of course no reading is allowed. I'm just gonna sit out here in this rocking chair drinking my smoothie for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. It's about 1 p.m. now. I just took a cold shower in the spirit of the challenge, and now I'm headed off with my journaling stuff to another park by my house to get this second prompt knocked out of the way. And also I was super bored at home, just like pacing around the kitchen. In case you guys are wondering, the way that I communicated with my family during this dopamine detox day is I basically had a sheet of scratch paper and just wrote down stuff that I wanted to communicate with them, or if that was just too much work, I would just like nod or do like hand signals or something. It was a little bit awkward at times, but it got the job done. We are in journaling spot number 2 right now. This is by a lake in my town. I definitely think it's a lot prettier and I like it better than spot number 1, but the only thing is it's a lot more crowded. But now we're gonna get cracking on the prompt, who do I want to become? The purpose of the who do I want to become prompt is to lay out the person that you want to become in the future, and in a lot of ways the person that you need to become in order to achieve the goals that you envision for your life. And I also use this a little bit as visualization. Like I wrote down that I want to move to a big city on the East Coast like New York City or Boston and go to college and work in a business career. Alright, so I kind of got rolling here and I did both spreads about who do I want to become, how do I get from who I am to who I want to become, so like daily habits, and then also just like some exercises about like what I would do if I could not fail, what I'd do if I had like infinite money pretty much. But I think after today I seriously won't be able to write for like 3 days. My hand hurts so bad. As you guys can see, the walk home from this journaling session was super pretty, and all in all this was 3.5 miles round trip, which brings today's walking total to 6.5 miles. I really left this afternoon's journaling session feeling very enlightened and having kind of a clear vision about what I want for the future. I think those 2 future prompts, like who I want to become and then how do I get from who I am today to who I want to become in the future, really helped me out. Some of the habits that I wrote down for what I have to do to become who I want to become is like read 30 to 50 pages a day, go on my phone under 30 minutes a day, run 5 miles a day, always be working on some part of a video each day. And yeah, I've been loving this challenge so far. The one thing I did today that technically was not explicitly stated in the rules of the challenge is help fill up my family's bike tires, and this was just so that I could go on an evening bike ride around 4 miles to a park near my house and just enjoy the outdoors. For dinner I had 2 organic bean and rice burritos from Trader Joe's. I know they're not the healthiest option, but they were the best I could find around the house that were decently healthy to eat for dinner. It's about 7:30 right now. I finished up dinner and now, as long as it's still light out, I'm gonna sit on the porch and watch the sunset and just fill out my journal because it's literally the only thing I can do. It's also kind of strange. I found myself like willing the time away just because like there's only so much journaling you can do, and also my fingers hurt so bad from writing so much today. During this evening's journaling session, I was just writing about what I enjoy to do in life, and also I'm trying to brainstorm a business that I can start and work on during this quarantine because I don't know about you guys, but I am in desperate need of a project and something to spend my time on these days. Low-key, I took a 2-hour long nap and woke up at 10:30, but then I started journaling about college and the 14 different colleges that I'm looking to apply to in about 6 months. So I just finished writing the dopamine detox reflection sheet, and overall I'm really glad I did this challenge. I definitely think it's something that I needed just to get my head cleared during quarantine and set me on the right track. It seriously feels like my brain just got out of like a massage, but at the same time I'm also super restless and can't wait to take a little bit elements of normal life back in with me, like reading books and being able to do stuff that's not just journaling. But some of the habits that I'm going to keep moving forward from today that this challenge has really opened me up to are going to be waking up early around like 7:30 every day, going to bed early around 11:30, journaling with these kind of like deep prompts that I did today, eating more healthily than I usually do, walking and biking around the neighborhood, Also, not using my phone for a few hours in the morning and maybe like 30 minutes to an hour before I go to bed. So if you're watching this, let me know what experiences you have with your dopamine detox, whether you're watching this because you've done one before or whether you're just curious as to what it is and haven't done one yet. I would highly recommend it. Quarantine is really the best time because there's no one really that's going to be reaching out to you with anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Today was definitely a challenge, but I'm glad I partook in it. I'm excited to be keeping this journey of self-improvement during quarantine.